Welcome, everybody, to the XR News Medical and Health Edition. This is produced by Educators in VR, and we're so happy that you're here with us live and if you're watching on YouTube at home. I'm your host, Rachel Darden, a lifestyle medicine coach, educator, and advocate for using XR to help people live healthier and more connected lives. This is the monthly immersive fireside chat where we connect with healthcare leaders exploring the intersection of XR and AI with human potential. Today, we have the amazing Christine Schwarz, and I cannot wait to introduce you to her and share what her team has been creating. Educators in VR has been producing the XR news show since 2018. They've had over 2,000 shows, and the XR News is being filmed in front of a live audience right now here in the amazing Engage XR space. We're here every Wednesday, and I hope to see you back time and time again. You personally join me every first Wednesday of the month as we explore extended reality and the shaping future of healthcare, medical, and education with that human connection. Every third Wednesday, we feature the XR News Innovation Spotlight with Chris Madsen, Dr. Tom Furness, and Maxwell McGee. And with these guys, anything can happen. They take us on adventures, create lots of mischief as we play together and explore and learn. On the remaining Wednesdays, Laurel, Steph, and Karen hold down the desk. They bring us all the latest and greatest XR news all the way from around the globe. And you can find this show and past episodes on Educators in VR website and on our YouTube channel. Also, all of our links will be on the Discord and other social media channels. We are on LinkedIn, Facebook, Blue Sky, of course, YouTube, and then our own website, Educators in VR. And if you haven't subscribed yet, click that button. It's important to help support us so we can support you. And anytime you have any recommendations of something you want to learn here, or maybe someone I should interview, please drop us a line. We really look forward to your participation. It's a big part of the community. We're also grateful for the support of our partners and sponsors, including the Reinhardt Foundation, Girls STEAM, Bridge Masters, Vertex Forum 3D, Cadets, Virtual World Society, and of course, Engage. Now, I'm excited to introduce you all to Christine Schwarz. She's the co-founder of Virtual Roundballers. She has been a creative force, with movement-based mixed reality app for health and fitness, starting with playing in basketball in VR and expanding into other virtual experiences. So welcome to the show, Christine.
Thanks
Hey.
for having me, Rachel. It's exciting to be here and excited to talk to you about this.
Oh, yeah, no, we're super excited to have you. And I cannot wait to share what you're doing because it really, to me, is groundbreaking. And I love bringing movement into the XR space and how it goes across all body types. That's super important
Right.
to me. So let's try to start talking about your journey and how did you land in XR just to get this ball rolling today?
Love the pun, but
I try my best.
um, no, I've always been passionate about fitness and sports and wellness, and
Mhm.
just seeing how kids today aren't really moving a lot physically, and saw this firsthand because I was the first wellness chairman for a K through 8 public school district here in Chicago, and really saw that with organized sports, it's super competitive, expensive, and it really precludes a lot of kids from joining a team. And now with the layering of social media, you see that like kids are even afraid to try out for a team because they already think they're not good enough, so they're not going to try. And so that and also, the parents getting involved and treating it as professional sports leads to a lot of burnout for the kids. So they're really stuck, like, and there's no other options. Like, there's They don't play
Mhm.
out in the streets and neighborhoods anymore, go to parks and play. There's no like informal way to get moving. So a lot of kids are gaming inside, scrolling on, social media, binge watching. Um, so recognizing that in my own sports journey, if you want to call that, I didn't play sports growing up just because I'm a first generation American. My parents are from Eastern Europe and they didn't really promote sports, especially for their daughters. And so it wasn't until high school where I saw my friends on a team that I decided to try out, and I didn't make a single one. So
Oh.
then I thought was not just I just wasn't athletic. And but then in college I met this phenomenal trainer who got me into weight training, and then like
Mm.
10 years later, working full time, I competed in for ESPN's Muscle Mania bodybuilding competition and ended up winning. And that was a lot of training. I worked with a sports nutritionist to get down to less than 6% body fat. And
Wow.
so yeah, so that was like a phenomenal experience, especially having the coach that I did in college who always told me like, I don't ever want to hear you say you can't do something. So if I tell you to pick
Mm.
up a 50-pound dumbbell, you're just going to do it. And that's really served me well throughout my life. And that's what sports is so empowering for kids. And so for them, for the majority not to have that, or at least half, over half now, it's really a shame. So I thought, with the advent of virtual reality and mixed reality, that provides access. And it's the perfect medium for movement, and it differentiates it from like flat screens. So we went on this journey, my co-founder and I, to like really wanting to build sports games that are movement based, because now there's a platform for that and it's easy access. So anyone, any skill level can like start.
And about what year did that start for you from moving from, just the physical into the actual
Mhm.
XR space?
Probably like during COVID, just thinking of something else to do, like everyone was doing, I think. And then just having discussions around it. And then we went to an NBA All-Star weekend and played Beat Saber. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so fun. And
Love Beat
why not
Saber.
do it? Yeah, and why not do that for sports? So, yeah, and then we found a great dev team that was great with building simulations already for AR VR training with special forces. So we built this MVP for basketball, and
Uh-huh.
we wanted to start with basketball just because it's one of the most globally popular sports. And the NBA does such a great job with social media. They have more followers actually than Premier League. So,
Oh, I didn't know that. Wow.
yeah, across Instagram, TikTok. So maybe with the World Cup being here, who knows? Premier might get some extra followers now. But yeah, so we wanted to start with a globally recognized sport that's very popular, and
Mhm.
just being fans of the game and like players who have played it before on our team. We really wanted to develop it so that any really user centric and really for the fan of the game who's never experienced playing it could play it. And so we developed an algorithm based on a fan's measurements. So you start the
Uh-huh.
experience in a virtual locker room, and we take your height, your wingspan, we ask you to jump to get your vertical, and that programs the adaptive AI of the avatar you compete against. So the avatar moves in relationship to your movements in real time. So we recognize we didn't want the avatar just to come by and like blow by and dunk on you every time. That wouldn't be fun. And
Right.
so it's really adaptive to everyone's skill level. And we've had, young kids play all the way up to someone who's 91 and really have
Oh,
fun with it.
wow.
And then,
No, it
of
sounds.
course, yeah, and
No, go
then
ahead.
the avatar talks trash. So you have that fun element of basketball. So, yeah, so we started with defense just because we wanted it to be able for anyone to play, even if you've never played the game, and start
Uh-huh.
there where you don't press any buttons. So it's really
Mm.
your real movement in like a room scale space to play.
Yeah, I think this is a really great time. Let's go ahead and play your YouTube video so we can give some
Okay,
more context to everybody here in the
sure.
audience and at home on YouTube. Yeah.
And this is our own rap song.
Are you a rapper too?
I'm about to hang 30 on him. Place it back, the Euro step looking sturdy on him. You know I keep that 42, I'm going worthy on him. You ain't come to play, why they even put a jersey on, okay? The way I shoot, you should come to protect. Team's sake, but it's all up to me, VRB. Pick and roll, give and go when it's game time. I get in a different mode when it's game time. I go big in the post when it's game time. VRB, you get roasted, it's game time. Game time.
So, question, how much of that was actual gameplay and then actual like filming?
Well, we filmed the fans playing it from our
Hmm.
pilot with the Cleveland Cavaliers, their G League fans. We were at their home
Cool.
games for a season, yeah. And the Cavs are a great organization, and it was really popular. And we did surveys on everyone and really got high marks on that. Like with 95% of the people that went through and played, they really enjoyed it, would play again and refer a friend. And so then the Cavs had us do their playoff games for fans at Rocket Arena, which was exciting. And then we had just like different people come through. Some parents used it as a babysitting service, so they would just have their kids like hang out
Yeah.
there and play while the parents watch the game. But it was just we wanted to test it early on with real basketball fans to see if it resonated, and so
No, I think that
it
makes
really did. hmm And we even
no, I
had
think
like
it
the
makes
G
a
League
lot of sense.
commissioner come. Yeah. And we had the G League commissioner come through and he played. We had a couple pro players come through and play. So, yeah, so it's really fun to see like and some people started sweating like within a minute. So, so some actually got a workout within like 5 minutes of the gameplay. So it was really fun to watch everyone and the expressions on their faces. And it was we had a leaderboard set up so the high score of the night would win the Cleveland's hockey team tickets, which they provided for us as well. So we had a lot of
Hmm.
competition and kids coming back to get the high score. We had some adults play, which was great to see too. And it was really great because this one girl who's 12 years old, she played and her mom came up to me and she said, "You know what? My daughter is so shy. I've never seen her play so fiercely like she did in this game."
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's really like the power of VR because you can get completely absorbed in that environment because it's so immersive and you just
Hmm.
embody like a real player. So you already feel like you're a pro and you forget about, what other people might judge you for. So I think that's
No,
really the great thing about VR.
no, and I think that's great. I personally talk a lot about movement as medicine, not punishment.
hmm
You
Right.
have said this mission with VRB. It takes athletics more inclusive and immersive and empowering. With that
hmm
specific moment, a person, a gym, let's just say someone who's in a rehab clinic or someone who's a D1 player, how does this moment become the design brief for VRB?
Well, because we have that algorithm built in terms of where you are and the avatar reacts to your own movements and the speed of those movements, it adapts
Hmm.
for everyone. Even if you're seated, if you can still like use your arms to try to get the ball, it still works that way. We had, someone on crutches who just got their ACL operated on. He was able to play. In fact, a guy who just had a heart attack a week before came in And he was at the activation, and he's like, I love
Mhm.
basketball, and I'm so sad because I can't really play real basketball, but I love this game, because he's not going to go all out. And so it's really adaptable to like whatever skill level you are.
So, how did you design one basketball experience that works for a person in all these different mobility places?
Well, it really comes down to the algorithm that we developed because we wanted something very intuitive where it wasn't set in stone, beginner level, intermediate, and advanced, because there's so much nuance between those for people. And so if we built it this way, we came up with the algorithm and programmed the avatar that would react in real time to your own movements. So if, as you even get better, the avatar becomes a better competitor for you. And so it really adapts to your movements in real time. So you can scale up in difficulty and scale down.
Wow, that's amazing. So, you're using
Mhm.
AI within the game as well, from what I'm hearing.
Yes. Yes. Hmm.
And so, how much AI are you particularly using, or is that something more your developers are taking on?
Well, it's being used for the adaptability. And also once we move
Mm,
to multiplayer and
hmm.
do 2-on-2, we'll create AI opponents or teammates, and then those will be programmed in pick and roll strategies of real basketball. So we're gonna, program them so they'll be playing real basketball screens with you, and people can learn then that way too. So it feels like a real game.
Oh, no, I think that's great. And your game right now is still in the beta testing, and you're taking on and
Yes.
I applied. So if you haven't done that yet,
Mhm.
please visit her website and apply to be one of her beta testers. And do you think that's going to be when do you believe that's going to start being released?
Well, it takes some funding, so I'm
Oh,
looking at some
don't we all
sources for
know?
that. So, um, so if you're an investor out there, please contact me too. But yeah, so I'm looking, and I've made some really great connections with that. And then, so once we have that, it's probably within 2 to 3 months, we can get our beta and reach out to play testers. And I also have partnerships with XR
Mm,
programs around the country who are at D1 colleges, because I really wanted, to structure the feedback with real basketball fans, but they already know, they have the equipment to really test it. And
mhm.
so I'm going out to those communities using students there as well for play testers.
Well, we'll include all your information on all our social media pages and when we put the outreach for the YouTube playback.
Okay,
So you'll hopefully get some more outreach that way. And any way we can help you, please lean out to us. This is such a beautiful community.
great. Thank you so much.
Oh, it's our pleasure. Thank you for being here. So, if we're honest, 5 years from now, will players in health systems prescribe active MR the way that they're prescribing walking programs today?
Hmm. Yeah, I believe in that too, because it makes it so much easier, because a lot of people, not only in terms of having the space to do that, but even like after hospital stays, like
Mm,
surgeons and doctors encourage patients to get out of bed, walk the hallways, but that becomes so boring. And then some people, due to weather or whatever, they can't get out and walk, and they don't have the room in their homes to do that, simple walking. So it's a way to like make it more interesting, even if you can't go far physically.
No, I think it's great, and I love how it's all inclusive. I personally, I teach yoga classes here in virtual reality, and
Hmm.
one of the things that I really enjoy about that is that it is all inclusive. Someone could be sitting in a chair, somebody could use a
Right.
chair for support, or simply be standing, and there's no judgment to it whatsoever. It's,
Hmm.
at their own free will and what feels comfortable and confident to them at that moment in time. So I just think that's absolutely beautiful. So what kind of proof and what kind of success prescription would look like for a 65-year-old with balance issues versus a 14-year-old who hates PE.
Well, we designed it around sports just because sports are really supposed to be fun. I think they used to
Yeah.
be fun. So it's like because there's no judgment involved, I think it eliminates any of those fears that especially a kid would have. And even for a 65-year-old, I know that a lot of older adults used to play and really miss it. And so they find,
Mm.
the gym or something like that boring. And so they wish they could without injury. And so there's no risk of injury if, because it's modified. And so you're not going all out and you're going to like break an ankle or tear your ACL.
No, and I think with the loneliness epidemic that we're facing,
Right.
especially since COVID, and it really helps for that. I personally started in VR during COVID, and I would have anxiety or depression, but I knew I could just put on my headset and come in
Hmm.
without that friction of having to go somewhere. Hopefully, it
Right.
wasn't too scary. And so I think that's a huge friction piece that your game, particularly, is serving. And it's going to
Hmm.
be a great need. No, I think that's awesome.
Yeah, and it
So
just
I
gives
just
them an
wanted to.
entryway, like an entry into
Oh yeah, yeah.
sports. And like once we get into other sports, like they can try out, what sport they really like, and then hopefully that would motivate them or inspire them to try it out in real life.
No, I completely agree. And I've had many people go from XR into real life movements, and that's so
Mm-hmm.
rewarding. And is that
Right.
something you're going to keep track of, or what does the future really look for VRB, you think?
Yes, I mean, because I'm looking at different distribution channels where this would be a great use case. So it's across
Hmm.
schools for PE, because there's a lot of cutbacks on schools already. So this might take that place or complement that. Also with senior living places, there's more VR platforms in those, so we could be part of that. And then and then just fan engagement at different basketball tournaments and things like that. And then even hospitals where and adults may have communicable diseases and they can't be around people. And so this would be a
Hmm.
great thing to offer them because it's fun and they can do it there and not worry about, and there's a social component to it as well. And it's
No,
safe.
absolutely. And it's solving like a magnitude of issues that we're going to keep experiencing, and it's not going to
Mhm.
slow down. And again, I love the inclusivity of it.
Mhm.
So I wanted to reach out to the audience and see if anybody had any questions for Christine or any, you know, feedback.
I
You're welcome to
do.
take yourself off mute. All right, Laurel, go ahead. Start it
Yeah.
off, please.
The technology that you have used to capture real life play and incorporate it into a VR experience is really amazing. Can you talk a little bit about the technical aspect of how you did that and some of the challenges you overcame? Because it's fascinating.
Sure. The toughest piece is the physics, because in looking at like different VR sports games, I read like all the one-star reviews, and the biggest complaint is that the physics are terrible. So I knew we had to nail
Mm,
that to go forward. And so we were just fortunate to find a really good developer that had a physics background and experience who really could program the physics very well. And we even had a meeting early on with the NBA front office in their New York headquarters, and they said, this is the best VR we've seen. So it was great early validation on the tech that way. But it's like trial and error, and it's like, okay, the developers are like, this is something new for us. And so it was a lot of back and forth and testing. And then we also consulted with pro basketball players, in terms of getting the movement right, and because we wanted to design the game in a room scale space. And so when we consulted with pro players, they're like, yeah, like real basketball is played in the paint, which is the size of room scale. It's not all this 3-point shooting that we see today, and like kids are, you know, fascinated with the 3-point shot, but it's like real basketball is like give and take and like in the paint. So and yeah, so we had input from a lot of different people, and because we really wanted a collaborative design group to like really, and again, we're creating this for fans of the game, those, and we find that, you know, for me, like the Olympics is such an inspiring thing to watch, and you can see it with like all the viewers from around the world that tune in, and they're just fascinated by the greatness of these athletes and what they're able to do. And I think people, especially with the Olympics, walk away from that like, oh, I wish I could do that. And now that you can in VR to a certain degree.
No, no, I think that's great. And VRB started by connecting fans with pro and college players in VR. Now you're
Mhm.
really pushing them into movement-based mixed reality. That is a big jump from watching to moving. And
Mhm.
when you're working with these players, with the professionals, what is their input and their reaction watching actual fans enjoy it just as much as they do?
Um, they loved it. I mean, we were invited to Draymond Green's inauguration into Hall of Fame at Michigan State. And so he played it. He loved it. Of course, didn't want to let the avatar dunk on him. He almost went into the wall, but they're very competitive, even in VR, but they don't want to lose. But no, him and a number of other pro players and even the current team that played it are like, oh my God, this is exactly what it's like. And even the visuals, because at that time we had a prototype where we bought the asset for Madison Square Garden. And so the Michigan
Hmm.
State team had played there, and they're like, oh my God, there's my locker. I can see it right there. So for that, it was great because they really validated the realism of the game and like to get that gameplay. So,
No,
and then
that's
with the
great.
yeah, and with the algorithm, we wanted to make it so that, you know, you wouldn't be beat by this pro avatar that we created. So that's where the algorithm comes in. And so we make it fun with the trash talking. And so they thought it was fun. And but I also want to bring in because we're also, one of our advisors is Chris Mullen, who's an NBA legend, and he'll be our first legend avatar in the game. And so, you know, I also want to create like the we experience where it cross generations to play together. And by bringing in different legends of different eras, you know, we can bring in those avatars where it'd be fun for someone who grew up with Chris Mullen can like share that experience with their family members or friends.
No, I think that's wonderful. I definitely am not into the latest basketball players, but if you would bring up like a
Hmm.
Michael Jordan or, you know, other
Right.
players like that, of course it would be so much more tangible and fun for
Hmm.
me to play along with the
Right.
younger generation. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and I'm
So
also
with every,
including
go ahead.
WNBA, and I'm also going to include
Oh,
WNBA legends and then also college players, both male and female.
no, I love it. I love it. And so through your entire experience, been the most surprising and what are you mostly looking forward to?
I think it's just surprising to see how some of the fans and the different like people really that enjoy it that surprise me. I mean, for instance, I thought it was going to be mostly kids who are used to playing NBA 2K. Who are
Mhm.
currently playing basketball or have never played but love these star players, and they wish they had that opportunity. And but it's also like older men and women. They're like, oh my God, I miss playing basketball, but I don't have time for league play. And so that was like surprising to me. And also, um, you know, we had this one gentleman play, and he's like, you know what? I'm not a sports fan at all. And he goes, I didn't grow up playing sports. I don't play sports now. And he's like, I was really just a gamer. But he goes, this is a fun game. And so
Mm-hmm.
that was important too, to design it in a way that would be fun, where we didn't need to rely on license of the entire NBA roster or WNBA roster. That it would be fun just based on the gameplay itself. And
Yeah,
movement
because
is
that can
that.
get vastly expensive. Oh no, movement
Yeah.
is so important. Movement is so
Mhm.
important. So part of the community that I typically work with, and a lot of us do here in the XR space, are neurodivergency. Do you
Mhm.
have that accountability for when you create this gameplay, or is that just something natural that has happened? Because I can see this, especially for neurodivergent children and adults.
Yes, definitely. I think just inherently how we designed it for different adaptability and just the visual aspects of it, the embodiment also helps
Mm.
with that. But yeah, I mean, we'll definitely continue to try to incorporate different design elements for greater accessibility.
No, that's great. All right, audience, you guys have another chance with any questions. If you want to just unmute yourself, you're welcome to go ahead and do so. I'll give you a few moments here. Don't be shy. It's okay. Well, that's okay. We can continue on. Oh, go ahead, Steph.
I was just wondering, will it be that easy to branch out into these other sports that are like basketball, perhaps with the same technology that you're using with this?
Yes, because we'll just take a pocket of each gameplay from sports, and incorporate it into, having the accurate physics and things like that, where, we could do it with fencing and, but just take a pocket of the play. So you're not like running, even with basketball, you're not running across an entire court for this. It's just, designed to be in room scale and take that same, geographic area for other sports to make it fun and engaging.
Nice. So
Excellent, thank you.
right now the game is available on the Quest headset. Are you looking into going to open source so you're available on all headsets and maybe even onto like a laptop or a mobile device, or are you strictly going to stick within a headset?
Right now we're probably just going to do cross-platform among the different headsets,
Mm-hmm.
and then see, how we can adapt and how well it plays on different platforms.
Oh no, that's great. And I have a
Hmm.
personal question. How often do
Hmm.
you physically play?
Basketball?
Well, no, within the game itself, yeah.
Oh, within the game? Yeah, like at least a couple times a week, just to, see if I'm getting better. So, but also because it's defense, it works on lateral movement, and you really don't have, because I'm also still a gym
Mm.
rat, and I do lift a lot, and then I do ride a bike. But I find like this is different movement than I'm used to. And so, especially because I can't run anymore, but with defense, you're doing a lot of lateral leg work. And so that helps as well in
No, that's
quickness.
great.
Hmm.
Yeah, because sometimes we get so used to playing one sport that we get good at either pushing or pulling or forward
Right.
or back. And I didn't even think about the lateral movement. And it is truly
Mhm.
important, especially as we age and get older.
Right, right.
Awesome. Well, is there anything else you would like to share about the game or anything up and coming that we should know about?
No, just excited to hopefully we'll be able to do the beta testing later this year, and
Hmm.
currently also looking at sponsors of the WNBA and NBA and D1 schools to do fan activations there. So that should be exciting. Hopefully we may even be at a All-Star weekend next year.
Oh, that is exciting. And are you keeping track of how many children or how many people have already played and have this experience?
Yeah, I've been doing a lot in the Chicago area. So we've had like close to 1,000
Mm,
people already play it at different venues, just because it's always great to get feedback and see real reaction on people's
hmm.
faces. So I've done like a Midwest Film Festival here in Chicago, which is a completely different demographic than, a basketball game. So, or tournament. So, just different. And XR summits I've been to in this area, and at
Hmm.
AWE, I was in the playground last year demoing. So different
Oh,
things like
that's
that.
awesome.
Hmm.
And we met because originally I'm from Austin and you happened to be in South by
All right.
Southwest. Did you bring the game there at that time too?
Um, no, just because I didn't have a space to set up, and people are like, so like just running in between events, it was like hard to nail
Mhm.
anyone down. But yeah.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, all right. Well, if anybody doesn't have any other questions, all right. Well, Christine,
Oh,
I would really.
I
Oh,
do.
go
Are
ahead,
you
Laura.
kidding? I have a million questions. Steph asked about what was next, and I'd like you to expand a little more on that because, like what specific sports you're looking at, and um, I'm just so excited about this because of the physics of it. You've mastered something that many people have been struggling with for such a long time, and so what are the sports? And then, so I can get 2 for 1 in here, is because we do have time. Afterwards, uh, where's your career going with this in the future? Not just with this app, but what are you seeing down the road in XR in AI? Because they're merging together. This is a great example of AI and XR merging together. So what's
Hmm.
down the road for you? So first of all, what sports? More about the sports, and then what's the future look like, please?
Yeah, great question. And, that depends on funding, but I'd really love to do some Olympic style sports because I'd really love to activate at the LA 28 games. And so just building some mini games around that, like I said, like fencing or some of these other games, because at the same time, people will be watching those, during the LA games. So I'd like to do those types of games next, so that sport. And then once we get better foot tracking for the feet, I'd love to do soccer where you have a goaltender and then someone shooting. So we could replicate that as well. But, some of these different sports, because again, there's so much like, especially in the US, it's baseball, football, soccer, basketball. And so, I could try other sports outside of the main ones because
I really
again,
like the
they'll
idea
be
that.
fun.
Right, no, and I think highlighting because there's so many different sports within the Olympics that people just aren't really aware of. So
Right.
going through that avenue and that channel, I think would just open up that sport, for so many other people. I never
Hmm.
thought about archery. Like I could see
Right.
archery in this particular arena or fencing. I never
Hmm.
thought this was something the Olympics would do. And then
Right.
one day you're watching the Olympics and you're like, oh wow, that could have been an option for me.
Right. Exactly. And then, your second question, I don't know, I just love the sports and wellness space, and so I really want to continue because I love the accessibility it gives. And so, because I was also ACSM certified personal trainer, I had a training company, and work with different ages and things like that. So I think I'll always be, because this is really where my passion lies, is like in
Mm.
movement, in fitness, and now doing it with sports. It's really exciting, and it's like really, and it makes such a positive difference in people's lives. That's really, beneficial for me to do that.
By any chance, are you keeping track of, especially with our aging population, on how it's keeping them young? Because the movement is motion for the body, is lotion for the
Yes,
body, excuse me.
yes, yes, yes. No, that is very important. And I have a relationship with someone who's like launched a VR platform for senior living community.
Oh,
So
wow.
hopefully we'll be featured on his platform so we can better measure there. Hmm.
Oh, no, I think that's great. And again, any way we can help us, please feel
Mhm.
comfortable with reaching out to me, Laurel, or anybody here at Educators in VR. We have beta testers. We have people who will try to wreck your game. We really have
Okay,
a large
great.
spread. So any way we
Mhm.
can help you, please reach out and don't hesitate.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Oh, my deepest pleasure. And it was so wonderful talking to you some more. Anybody else before we wrap things up today? Well, perfect. Well, I want to thank each and every one of you for coming here to our live taping. And again, this is being filmed from YouTube. So Christine, when this is ready, I'll share this with you so we can share it online on all our socials.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah. So thank you again for sharing your journey and your insights, and also to everyone here who's joined us. I want to also thank Educators in VR for producing and supporting all these medical and health innovations by creating spaces just like this for these conversations that highlight such amazing work and trailblazers. EVDR is on vacation for the month of August and will be returning in mid-September. I will personally be returning the first the first Wednesday of October. And again, a special thank you out to the entire XR News crew, from our moderators to our producers to our live streamers and our community volunteers. This show happens because of your dedication. And if you're looking to become part of the team, please reach out to us at educatorsinvr.com. And I also want to thank all of our sponsors. Oh. All right, thank you. All right. And I also want to thank all of our sponsors again for showing up and keeping us alive and supporting us through, including iLearn, the Reinhardt Foundation, Virtual World Society, Bridgemakers, and of course the amazing Engage XR. And if your company would like to sponsor the XR News, please contact us again at Educators in VR or in Discord. And until next time, I'm Rachel Darden, and this has been the XR News Medical and Health Edition. And I want to keep encouraging you to keep learning, keep connecting, and most importantly, keep living the spark. Thank you again, and I will see you in October. And stands with trees, what did we do?
You did a thing.
Yay!